attacks. My name is Brooke Pinto. I have the privilege of serving as the Ward 2 council member and the chairwoman of the Committee on Judiciary and Public Safety. It is my honor to be with you all today and recognize and celebrate our first responders in memory of 9/11. I want to express my sincere gratitude to our Mayor Muriel Bowser for her leadership and being with us here today, Fire and EMS Chief Donnelly, David Hoagland and Aretha Lyles, the leaders of our local IAFF and Local 3721. Thank you all so much. I would now like to welcome the DC Fire and EMS Honor Guard to come forward and present the colors. Thank you very much. I am humbled to lead this storied event today on behalf of the Council following the remarkable leadership of our former colleague from Ward 3, Councilmember Mary Che, who led this event for so many years. Thank you, Councilmember Che, for her leadership and partnership. And as we recognize, honor, and remember the tremendous sacrifice and service of our first responders on 9/11, I would like to invite all of us to please pause for a moment of silence. Thank you. Thank you very much. I would also like to recognize and welcome the chairman of the DC Council, Phil Mendelson, who's with us today, and our Ward 3 colleague, Matt Fruman, as well as Chief Smith, Deputy Mayor Pia, and our City Administrator, Kevin Donahue. This year marks the 22nd anniversary of 9/11, and we come today together to acknowledge the courage and bravery of our first responders, those who are still with us and those whom we tragically lost, who gave so selflessly during one of our nation's greatest moments of need. Our first responders do everything they can every single day to keep our residents safe when we experience acute crises and great risk, providing support, guidance, and protection. We are so grateful as a city to each one of you every day for your remarkable service to the district and to the country as the protectors in our nation's capital. And as the chairwoman of the Committee on Judiciary and Public Safety, as I have come to know more and more first responders each day, I am so moved by the dedication, grit, and courage you all provide to all of us, leading the example. Thank you so much. We will continue to honor your sacrifice and memory of the courage of so many of your colleagues as well 22 years ago today. At this time, I would like to welcome our Mayor Muriel Bowser to the stage, who has been consistently an ardent supporter of our first responders and in honor of today. Thank you.
Good morning. So we gather here at Engine 16 like we have done so many years before, our tradition to reflect upon the tragic events that occurred on September 11, 2001. We pause to remember and honor the lives lost and recognize our first responders. I want to thank Councilmember Pinto, the Council of the District of Columbia, Chairman Mendelson, Councilmember Bonds, Councilmember Fruman. We thank you for your presence. We acknowledge your service to the city and your commitment to helping to ensure we have the resources to support our men and women and keep us all safe. We know that 22 years ago, on September 11th, our nation, our way of life changed forever. In New York City, Shanksville, Pennsylvania, at the Pentagon, and here in Washington, D.C., terror upended our lives and stole Washingtonians. We remember today our 3 children from Washington, D.C., who were aboard Flight 77, Bernard Brown, Asia Cotton, and Rodney Dickens. We remember our teachers and guides who were with them, Sarah Clark, James Debonair, Hilda Taylor, Ann Judge, and Joe Ferguson. On the flight with them were 3 other Washingtonians, Paul Ambrose, David Charlebois, and Karen Kincaid. At the Pentagon, we lost Roger Millam, Carolyn Howman, Brenda Keegler, and Edna Stevens. We pray for their families and their loved ones, and we pray for the nearly 3,000 people taken from us on that day. The terror and loss of that day, the visceral reactions we have when we think back to those memories, are now a part of our DNA. That is part of what we'll never forget. The other part is that we will never forget the heroism. The National Guard pilots who went up unarmed, ready to do whatever was necessary to defend the airspace around the nation's capital. The passengers on Flight 93 who sacrificed their lives to save others. The first responders who ran toward the terror went up in those buildings and made sure that hundreds of people could make it out. And those who made it home, who have suffered for years and have suffered with the toll it has taken on their bodies. We think about all of these people and their losses in the 20 years since, that thousands of first responders have acted similarly in their day-to-day jobs. We think about the men and women who were just kids in 2001. They grew up fully aware of the pain and trauma that bad people could inflict on our world and our communities. And many of them have still signed up to be firefighters, EMTs, and police officers. So we say thank you to them. Chief, we thank you. We thank our entire public safety team in DC government, our police department, our OUC operators, our DC National Guard, and all our friends and neighbors who are serving in the military and abroad. Our commitment to our first responders is for all of us, is that we make the right investments to build safer and stronger communities in the district. We are grateful for the courage and bravery that you bring to the job as we stand here. We are grateful for all of the calls you answered, for going and knocking on doors or knocking down doors to make sure people are safe inside and getting them the right resources and the right care that they need and the right time to keep them safe. DC residents know what you do day in and day out, and we are so grateful for all that you do. I want to thank you, Chief, of course, and I want to thank all of our firefighters and EMTs who have joined us, their leadership, including from IAFF and Local 3721, for working with us. The city administrator, the deputy mayor, and I are proud of our department. We're proud of what you do every single day, and we're here to support you. So with that, I want to invite the chief to come up. Oh, actually, I'm inviting the council members to come back, and then the chief will come up. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor Bowser, for those powerful remarks. I'd like to invite our colleagues, Chairman Phil Mendelson, at-large Council Member Anita Bonds, and our Ward 3 Council Member Matt Fruman, to make some remarks. Mr. Chairman can make some remarks on behalf of the council. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Pinto. Thank you, Mayor Bowser. Thank you to all of the members of Engine 16 and Tower 3. Thank you for hosting this once again. Thank you to everyone who is here as well. My remarks are going to be pretty brief. The council has a resolution. I'll leave that to Councilmember Pinto to present. I just want to say this. In order for this event to really be meaningful, it's supposed to be an event on reflection. So it's not just remembering the individuals who lost their lives, the close to 3,000 people, most of whom died in New York City, but some in Shanksville and some at the Pentagon. And of course, it's worth noting that DC Fire and EMS was one of the responders to the Pentagon. But in my view, the value of this event is really to reflect, and that reflection includes whether we continue to be as prepared as we need to be for events like this. What lessons were there that we learned? How well prepared are we? What more can we be doing to prevent an incident like 9/11 from occurring again? In my view, that's the value when we say we must never forget, not just to honor those who gave their lives, but what we can do for those in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. All right. Well, on behalf of the council, I am pleased to continue the tradition of presenting the ceremonial resolution to Fire and EMS Chief Donnelly to recognize his truly extraordinary service to the district. If you can join us up here, Chief Donnelly. On behalf of the council, we present this ceremonial resolution. Thank you so much for all you do every day. Thank you so much. Now, Chief Donnelly, if you'd like to make some remarks.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. Thank you, Mayor Bowser, Council Chair Mendelson, Council Members Bonds, Pinto, and Fruman. It means a lot for you to show up. It's also important to recognize we have the Deputy Mayor here, we have the City Administrator here, presidents of both of our locals, members of the executive staff, and most importantly, the people that do it every day, the people from Engine 16. Without them, none of this matters. And Chief Smith, you snuck in on me. Good to see you. When I reflect on 9/11, I remember the shock and confusion of learning the incident as it unfolded and trying to figure out how did somebody fly a plane into a building on this beautiful day, and then realizing what it was. My wife calling me from the airport saying a plane crashed that I didn't know about at that time, and they were running her out of work at gunpoint, evacuating the airport. Knowing I had to get to work, but not really understanding why. Coming to work and seeing the Pentagon and the smoke from the Pentagon coming up and the traffic jams leaving the city, but nobody coming in except a few other firefighters and police officers. Trying to figure out where my daughter was going to be and what can we do to help. Packing 5 days of clothes. Then working on staffing and logistics, figuring out how we were going to put the people we had to work to help solve the situation in front of us. And then in the days afterward, who the heck is Al-Qaeda and why are they mad at us? So what do we tell a new generation? What do we do with all of that? Well, we reference the bravery of all the responders, especially the FDNY, and the things we learned about job cancers and mental health from them. From Flight 93, as the mayor said, we recognize that in 45 minutes, citizens solved our Homeland Security problem from planes. They refused to be part of a bomb. At the Pentagon, we draw on a regional response that has been strong in this region, and we made it stronger. And then especially the 408 DC Fire and EMS responders that went to the Pentagon on the September 11th and 12th to help. We take those messages away to make us stronger, to never forget. The biggest changes the fire department had after that is that we now have staffing and resources that we did not have on those days to better prepare us to respond to the future. And we see that how many times it has helped us since then. We see it on January 6th, we see it on climate-driven events, and we see it every day in the creativity in solving problems that our citizens have that they need from us. All of that comes back from 9/11. So we remember, we have a piece of the World Trade Center here. This was donated by the Tunnels to Tower Foundation, and I encourage each of you to come up and touch it before you leave as a touchstone to that event. It's a connection. It's real. This was in the part of 9/11, and it is here today. So we say never forget, which to me means remembering to honor our loss by assuring that we are never attacked by an enemy again that we do not know, and that if we are prepared for that attack. So never forget. Thank you. President Hoagland.
Today we remember a day that changed our country and our city forever. We all remember where we were and the tragic loss of life that was experienced. We responded on that day as a country united to defeat evil through service, sacrifice, resilience, and perseverance. Members of Local 36 embodied those principles and answered the call, said goodbye to their families, and responded after American Airlines Flight 77 struck the Pentagon. They set an example through their hard work and sacrifice. It makes me proud that those virtues are still practiced daily by the members of Local 36. Our members humbly serve the district and appreciate the support they receive from its residents and visitors. I would also be remiss if I didn't communicate my appreciation for the support of our communities and the city's leadership, especially Mayor Bowser, Councilmember Pinto, Chairman Mendelson, Councilmember Fruman, Councilmember Bonds, Deputy Mayor Apia, and the City Administrator Kevin Donahue. The fact that you are here and you stand behind the district's firefighters mean a lot to us. Chief Donnelly mentioned a big thing that came out of 9/11 was presumptive illness and cancer. So I want to thank all of you for your support for recently expanding our presumptive disability legislation. Your support only strengthens our commitment to our core mission to preserve life and property here in the District of Columbia. It is a privilege to represent the 1,900 plus members of this department, the silent professionals who sacrifice so much for others. They have the unique charge of protecting this amazing city of ours, which also happens to be our nation's capital. I thank all of you here today for taking the time to join us, to show your support, as well as your resolve to do good for our great city. DC firefighters are proud to stand beside you in your endeavor.
Thank you so much, President Hoagland, and for your partnership. I would now like to invite Aretha Lyles, the president of our Local 3721, to the podium.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today, as we reflect on the lives that let us remember that we must always remember their legacy. They were mothers, fathers, sisters and brothers, sons and daughters. They were friends, they were colleagues, and they were neighbors. They were people with dreams, aspirations, and plans for future. We honored their memory by embracing the values they held dear to their heart, by living our lives to the fullest. But out of the darkness emerged countless stories of passion and unity. Firefighters, police officers, and first responders rushed towards the danger, risking their lives. Original citizens became heroes, selfishly aiding to their fellow human fellow human beings. We witnessed the power of unity, and people from all walks of life, regardless of race, religion, nationality, we all came together and supported one another. Today, as we remember the events of September the 11th, 2001, let us not only mourn the loss, but also celebrate the relents and unity that emerged in the darkness. Let us strive to build a world where love triumphs over hate, compassion overcomes division, and understanding replacing ignorance. May we never forget the lives that was lost today, and may the memory forever inspire us to be better, to unite, and to stand tall and to face adversities. Together, let us create a future with peace, justice, and humanity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, President Lyles. I want to thank you all again so much for being here today to honor our first responders and their courageous sacrifice, not only on September 11th, 2001, but every single day since. And I want to thank all of our speakers as well for your powerful words. I'm going to be continued to be reminded and remind others of the importance of this reflection and this continued honor so we can support the important work of our first responders each and every day. Thank you for all that you do for all of us in our city, for our nation, we pledge to you. Thank you so much.
We now return. Ready in progress.